Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to do another thrifty makeover. For this thrifty makeover, the goal is to furnish my spare room. This room, I normally do my filming here. I make my videos here, and I also do my little workouts here. So I normally go work out in the morning, but sometimes when I'm too tired to go to the gym early in the morning, I'll just do some light exercise here. So this is what the space looks like. So I just have a couple things here. Just my light and again, my little workout equipment and my mirror that I thrifted. And then also this yoga mat that I thrifted. And then I just have like just random things here. So for this room, I still want to continue to be able to film here, but I do want to turn it into kind of like a beauty room. So I did thrift a few things at Goodwill, and I'll share with you what I found. First thing that I found at Goodwill is this tall end table. I think it will make a great plant stand. And I picked this up for $7.99. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, $7.99. I am planning to paint this, so I haven't decided what color exactly yet. The next thing I have here is this gorgeous mirror that I thrifted at Goodwill. I totally scored on this. It was already at a very low price. They marked it for $14.99. But I just so happened to had a 50% off coupon, so I only got it for $7.50. I love the detailing on it. It's really pretty. I am probably going to be painting it because it's dinged up on certain areas, and I do want to kind of cover it up with paint. So especially on the bottom here. As you can see, like the wood has already chipped and things like that. So I do want to give it a little bit of love and then cover up all the imperfections. But overall, the mirror is in great condition. Since I'm planning to turn my room into a beauty room, I wanted to find a vanity mirror and vanity table. So this is the vanity table that I thrifted at Goodwill. I got this a while ago. It's in great condition. It looks like maybe something that is supposed to go into a kitchen, just judging by the wood on top. But this was only $12.99. It's in great condition. The only defect that I would say is the drawer here. It's hard to open, but I'm going to try and remedy it and fix that. The next thing I have here is this gorgeous vanity chair. I thrifted this at the Goodwill outlet for $4.99. I was so happy to find this. It looks really unique. And it's quite old. I believe it's a vintage chair, just judging by some of the labels that's on it on the bottom. I do want to try and salvage this fabric, but I'm not sure how it's going to come off when I try to take it apart. So hopefully this one turns out well when I give it a makeover. So the first project we're going to be working on is the easiest one, which is the mirror. I've already cleaned it really well around the frame with some just regular alcohol rub. And I put my painter's tape around, and I didn't have any newspaper, so I just used scraps of cardboard. So I'm going to get started on painting. Also, the paint that I will be using today is the Rust-Oleum American Accents. And this one has paint plus primer, which I thought was great. And this one is just semi-gloss white. Alrighty, I have my first coat on, and the paint is doing okay. I don't know if you guys noticed, I've been trying different paint to test them out, and so far this one's alright. The only thing is, it's not as pigmented as the first white paint that I used previously, and I'll show that to you real fast. So the one that I used in my last projects was this one here. It's the same brand, but it just says satin blossom white. So this one's just straight up paint, no primer added. And I loved this paint. The pigmentation was awesome. So definitely next time I'll be purchasing this one instead. Alrighty, so my paint is nice and dry, and I actually just went in and used this as the last coat. I really like this a lot better. The pigmentation is better quality. So right now, since the paint is dry, I'm going to go ahead and do some detail painting on the frame. So as you see here, there's some designs on the corners and right here, these really pretty flowers. I want to highlight it with some gold paint, and I do have some already, and I'll show you what I'll be using. Alrighty, so what I have here is this Krylon Shortcuts metallic paint. Really cute little spray paint. I've used this before in my other DIY projects. I did a coffee table and I highlighted some of the detailing with this paint, but what I did was I spray painted a paintbrush and then just gently put the paint on top of the design that I wanted. And yeah, so if you want to see that, I'll link that video down below. And what I'll be using is a little sponge tip. So I'm not going to use the paintbrush, and just because it has kind of like a more angled application, so we'll test it out and see how it works. Alrighty guys, so this is what it looks like right now. I'm really happy with how it looks so far. I may do a light second coat on the gold. As you can see here, I just did a light brushing. Yeah, so just another light coat of gold and it's all done. Alrighty guys, so I just brought my mirror upstairs and I'm super happy on how it turned out. I did go ahead and do the second coat on the gold, and as you can see, I didn't paint every single corner or anything like that. I just highlighted the details of the design, and that's my intention. I want it to look like that. So yeah, I really love it and I'm super excited to hang it up once I'm done with the other projects. It's early in the morning, by the way, and this is what I look like. My neighbors are probably like freaked out, like what the heck is wrong with this lady. Alrighty, so now that the mirror is done, I'm gonna get started on working on the vanity table. I've already started cleaning it, and basically I'm just gonna clean the insides and everything before I start painting. And for the white part, the paint looks okay, but there's some parts that are dinged up, so I'm going to be spraying a little bit of paint over it just to clean it up a little. Alrighty, so I've already went ahead and cleaned out this drawer and wiped it down, and a lot of the markings already came off. And what I used to clean was just simply alcohol rub, my favorite cleaning solution. And yeah, so in here, this one had a really dirty velvet lining. I already tore it out. I'm going to clean it up a little bit more. And then as you can see here, it's really dirty, and I want to show you how well alcohol rub can clean. Alrighty, so what I'm doing is I'm just putting some painter's tape, and I'm gonna clean the right hand side, and just to show you a difference in how well the alcohol rub cleans. Alrighty guys, what a difference, right? I love cleaning with alcohol rub. It just takes off so much dirt, and it also sanitizes what you're cleaning. And if you have children that are aspiring artists and they love to draw on your walls, it's a great way to, you know, clean your walls too. And it's very cheap, so. Actually, before I paint the drawers, I did notice that this drawer in particular has a hard time coming out and going back in. So I noticed on the back that it's a little bit, I don't know, tore up on the ends. So I'm just going to go ahead and sand it down, and hopefully that fixes it. Alrighty, I think it's a lot better. So my drawers are nice and dry. I'm just putting them aside. And now I'm just going to go ahead and work on the table itself. And I did pick up another can of paint. This one has the paint and primer, and this one is the flat white. I just wanted to try it out. I'm sure it's all going to match because I just used the leftover paint for this one. It really didn't need much. But yeah, so I'm also going to be using this as the base primer as well. And what I mean by that is I am going to keep the bottom of the table white. But as you can see here, there's parts that are kind of nicked up and everything. So it really doesn't need much paint, but the top part of the table I am planning to paint it a darker color. So that is the reason why I'm going to be using this as primer as well. Alrighty, so it looks a lot cleaner, and again I'm going to use the same paint and spray the top, and it's going to be the primer before I put the darker paint on top. It's early morning and I'm going to be spraying the top of the table with this paint here. This is the Rust-Oleum Satin Espresso. This is the first coat and I'm really loving the coverage. So far, my opinions on this brand of paint, I really love the satin finishes. I feel like it's just really good coverage and it's easy to spray. It's not like sparse or anything like that when it comes out of the can. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry, and yeah, we'll check on it later. So everything is nice and dry. I did end up doing 2 coats on the top paint, so it dried nicely. So the next thing I'm going to be working on is the drawers. Alrighty guys, so I have my drawers here, and I cleaned it as best as I could. I did end up taking the little velvet piece out just because it's just really dirty, and I didn't do a very good job at ripping it out, but that's okay because we're going to be making a insert to cover the bottom of the drawer. And I just realized that the drawers are actually different sizes. I'm pretty sure the table was some sort of kitchen drawer. This was probably set up for utensils. That's why I had that velvet lining. But yeah, anyway, so I purchased some fabric at Hobby Lobby. I think I may have been in that store before a long time ago. I believe they built that store probably a little over 5 years ago. And I just never really go in there just because it's kind of out of the way. It is close to my house, but I did check it out and it has such beautiful things. I was just kind of like, oh my gosh, I wanted to buy everything, but I only picked up some fabric. This was $4.61 for 1 yard, and I believe it's more than enough. I really like the color and kind of like the Moroccan print. So for my drawer insert, I purchased a foam board from the Dollar Tree. So basically what I'm going to be doing is measuring the inside of each drawer and then cutting out an insert for each one. So I'm done cutting out my cardboard pieces, and you know, if you have a box cutter, it will be very easy to cut out. I didn't have one, so I just used a small kitchen knife. It works just fine. Just be careful where you're cutting it. I did cut this out on the floor. So yeah, it came out pretty good. And so what I'm going to be doing basically is taking the fabric, and then I am going to place it on top and then gluing the edges on the back with some hot glue. I just put my insert inside of the drawer. I thought it turned out really well. I just noticed there's a little crease there, but you know, it's okay. It doesn't really bother me. But I thought it turned out really good, and I'm really happy with it. I wanted to put an insert instead of painting the inside, just because if I do get bored, I can just easily change it out, and it's inexpensive. And I'm going to go ahead and finish the other drawer and then go find a little knob for this here. And gluing my fabric onto the cardboard, and it should look something like this. It doesn't have to be neat. It's okay. It's not going to be seen. And I'm just going to simply insert it into my drawer here, and it should fit right just in. And I do notice that there is some creases here, and my other drawer has a little bit of a crease here too, just from the fabric being folded. It's totally fine, but if you're doing it yourself, you can always just iron it out before you use the fabric. I just didn't really even think about that. And I've already added my little knobs here, really cute. This knob here I picked up at Home Goods a while back. I did use them for another project. They're really, really pretty. They are made in India. They're glass knobs. And yeah, so I bought these, and they came in a set of 4. I don't remember how much they were. I believe they were under $10, but I thought they were still really inexpensive, just because when you go to the hardware store, that's probably about the price that you pay for some plain looking ones. But yeah, I'm really happy with these. I'm just going to add it onto here, and then we'll be done. Alrighty, so for my next project, I'm going to go ahead and paint my little plant stand. It's in good condition. There are some parts that are nicked up. I am going to paint it white because that is what I have on hand. And it looks like at one point maybe the stand was a blue color, because I can see some blues on parts that it was banged up. But yeah, so overall it's still in very good condition, so some paint will make it look a lot better. So I am going to be using my Rust-Oleum American Accents. This has the primer included. So again, I don't really like this paint, but I already bought it, so I'm just going to make use of it. Alrighty, first coat done, and then we'll check on it tomorrow. Alrighty, so I've added my first coat of paint on top of the table, and basically after it dries, I'm going to put another layer, and it's pretty much done. So this is our next project. I think it's going to be a pretty simple one, hopefully. So this vanity chair, as you can see, is really old and dirty, but I really want to salvage this fabric. I don't know if it's possible. I want to attempt to clean it, but what I'm going to do is remove it first. And on the bottom here, as you can see, it's quite old, and it looks like it's held in by some screws. So I'm just going to take it apart and see if I can remove the fabric. So this is the base of the chair, so I'm just going to simply wipe it down with alcohol rub, and it should be nice and shiny afterwards. It's just held up by some cardboard. I'm just going to rip it out and see what's underneath. I don't think I will be able to save this fabric, so I'm just gonna rip it out. I'm trying to be careful with it, but you know what, it's just probably better if I just replace it. Let's see, and probably replace the little foam that's inside too. So I got the cushion off, and it definitely is going to be tossed, but I am going to reuse this wooden board. I'm just going to wipe it down with some alcohol, and we're going to go to the craft store and see if we can find a cushion and some fabric. Okay, so I'm back and I picked up some really pretty upholstery fabric. This was in the clearance section and it was only a yard left, so they sold it for $7. And then I also picked up this little foam cushion and they were selling this for 10 bucks, but I got 40% off and so it was $6. I also picked up a white cardboard. It's just because when I was taking it apart, as you saw, there was that black cardboard that they were putting on the bottom. I'm actually going to do the same thing, so I picked this up for 50 cents. And yeah, so basically we're going to get started. I am going to be using another fabric that I already have on hand to place underneath this, because I think normally people put what they call it batting on the cushion. I don't have any batting, so I'm just going to use my extra fabric that I have. I just went ahead and placed the wooden board on the foam, and I'm just simply tracing it. That way it'd be easy to cut out. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the cardboard. So I don't have a box cutter knife, so I'm just going to use one of my kitchen knives. Just be really careful where you're cutting if you're doing something like this. I'm going to be extra careful. A little messy, but it did the job, so I've already cut it out. Yeah, so I don't think the unevenness right here really matters. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut the cardboard. Moving on to the fabric, and yay, I bought new scissors. I've been working with like really crappy scissors for a lot of my projects, and I was just like, every time I go to the store, I always forget to pick up new ones. So hopefully these cut well. I just went ahead and put the foam on top of the fabric and the wooden board, and I'm just gonna cut around it and make sure that I can fold it over. And this is the bottom side. I actually picked this fabric up from the Goodwill outlet. It was, I think, like 85 cents or something like that. And normally when I go to the Goodwill outlet, I always try to look for fabric or things that I can use in DIY projects. Since the Goodwill outlet sell by the pound, it's super cheap. I actually got tons and tons of stuff that I use for projects in there. So I'm going to go ahead and staple this fabric down first. I'm not going to secure it too much, just enough for it to hold the foam. So I went ahead and cut my upholstery fabric, and I'm going to do my best to tighten it around the corners and everything. And guys, I just want to remind you, I am not a professional. I simply do this for fun. This is my hobby. So I apologize if this isn't like a professional upholstery. I mean, I work in the financial industry and I just do this for fun, and it's an inexpensive way for me to furnish my home. So forgive me if it's not perfect, but yeah, it's just something that's fun, and I love to share my projects with you. I actually didn't think there would be so many little bumps here. It's probably because I didn't use batting. I don't know if that would have helped, but definitely next time I'll try that out. But for now, I think it looks all right. I may switch it out later on in the future, but right now I am content with the way it looks. So these are the little clasps that was holding the board and the frame together. I'm just going to screw it back on. I've already done one, and it was fairly easy to screw in. It wasn't difficult at all. Hey guys, I just got back home and I did put up all of my projects that I completed. So everything is done, and before I share with you the results, I'm going to show you the before clips first. Is the after. There's my plant stand, my newly painted vanity table. There's my vanity chair. And then I have my mirror there. I'm really happy on how it turned out, and on top of that, I'm happy that I didn't spend a lot of money. I've added my little bust here that I got at TJ Maxx, and my little pretty necklace. I got this little elephant at TJ Maxx as well. And I bought this picture frame pretty recently at Ross for $6. And that is one of my thrifted candle holders that I got at Goodwill for 99 cents. I picked up a candle from Ross as well, and that one was $5. I'm very happy on how the table turned out, and inside the drawer, as you can see here, looks just like that. And it's something that I can definitely change out later if I get bored of it. So the rug here was actually in my sitting room, but I brought it in my little beauty room. I purchased a replacement, so I thought it looked a lot better here since it is a small rug. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. If you like this video, make sure to hit like and subscribe. I will be posting up more videos in the future, so I'll see you next time.